All right, we are live.
Okay, so this meeting is being called to order. First, I'm going to read the open. Oh wait, do we have a mission statement?
Oh, I could bring it up.
Okay. First, I'm going to read the Open Publics Meeting Act notice. This meeting is being held in accordance with the Sunshine Law. Annual notice having been published on or about July 1st, 2024, in two local newspapers with a copy on file with the board secretary and a copy to be posted to the TCCS website. This meeting is being called to order at 7:05. First is the approval of minutes from 3/10/2025 in the closed session. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the meeting's pass. And we also read the mission statement, so I'll read it like this. It is the mission of TCCS to provide a nurturing environment in which students realize their full intellectual potential and become self-directed learners who make both pragmatic and creative use of basic skills and who understand and appreciate the cultural diversity of our society. The faculty, staff, parents, extended family, and other members of a child support network are committed to creating and operating a student-centered learning community which promotes and supports a child's natural curiosity and enthusiasm for acquiring knowledge. This learning community will follow a living curriculum, an experiential interdisciplinary study that encompasses literacy, critical thinking, and responsible social interaction while empowering each child to demonstrate his or her unique interests and abilities. So we're super excited to hear from our learners tonight. We have some good presentations.
Yes, so we actually have, I believe it's 5 different Women's History Month presentations tonight. I want to thank Ms. Yoon and Mr. Bonnie for volunteering to bring some of their presentations here tonight. I want to thank the kids, obviously, for coming out and taking the time, as well as the parents. So if we wanted to actually just get started, if Ms. Yoon and Mr. Bonnie want to come up and explain a little bit about the project, that would be great. Or whoever wants to come up first. It's Mr. Bonnie's birthday, too, by the way, everybody. Yeah, come up here. It's good. If you want to shift it, if they can do it from up here, then they can actually be by the screen. Yeah, this works.
All right, good evening, everybody. How's it going? Miss Yoon and I teach a PBL class along with the other 2 5-6 teachers. And part of our PBL is we thought of a project for Women's History Month. And Miss Kathy kind of helped us out with the idea, but we wanted to pick women from New Jersey just to highlight the women from New Jersey because there are quite so many of them. And it was just awesome to see their different presentations. And even one of my groups did Sonia Torres, so that was pretty cool. I know she had a little book that I shared with them as well. So just from the field of entertainment, and I mean, there's just so many different women that we could pick from. So I think it was pretty cool, and it was a fun project for Miss Yoon and I. So.
Yeah, and I would also like to recognize Alexandra and Laura. They're actually going to present. They're going to do a presentation on Katherine Johnson in math class. For Black History Month and Women's History Month, we were doing research on mathematicians. So I want to recognize them too. Thank you for being here.
Is there a specific order you want to go in, or I have them alphabetical by first name?
Sounds great. Whoever you bring up, we'll bring up.
All right, so we'll start with Christine Whitman.
Christy Todd Whitman. Jermaine Cassidy and Sophia G.
All right, so you guys can just hit the space bar when you're ready to go to the next.
This isn't the first slide.
It's not the first slide?
No.
Let's see. We jump to number 2. There we go.
It's crazy.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So we are presenting Christine Todd Whitman. We hit the.
Yeah, you can do it.
We hit the space. By Jermaine, which is me. Hold your buddy.
Hold on.
Buddy. Oh, okay. Hold your buddy. Wow. This is not nice. This is not very nice for you. This is not very nice.
It's okay. It's gone.
Okay. Okay, let's go. By Jermaine, which is me.
Cassidy.
Sophia G. Whoa. Hold it, buddy. Take it next. Okay. Okay, whatever. It's okay. Christine.
If you want to look at right on this screen too, this way you can face
Okay.
everybody, that'll work.
Christine Todd Whitman was born to Eleanor Prentice Todd and Webster B. Todd. She was originally born in New York and was raised on her parents' farm in Oldwick, New Jersey. She had 3 siblings named Webster Jr., Danny, and Kate Todd. When she was 9, she met President Dwight D. Eisenhower at the 1956 Republican National Convention.
Want me to go? Okay.
I'll try.
You got
Christine married John by 1974. She was employed at the Office of Economic Opportunity and Republican Nation Committee. She was serving on the Board of Trustees in Somerset County College, known today as Raritan Valley Community College.
Okay. Sourceman. Yeah. Okay, very nice. Her career. Christine was the 50th governor of New Jersey from 1994 to 2001. She was also an administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency under President George W. Bush from 2001 to 2003. Yeah. Sophia.
Family. Christine had a husband, John Whitman. She also had a son called Taylor and a daughter named Kate, as well as 6 grandchildren. But fatefully, John suffered a catastrophic brain injury and died in 2001 at a hospital in Morristown.
Rest in peace, little bro.
Fun facts.
Yeah.
As of 2024, Christine Todd Whitman was the only woman to serve as the governor of New Jersey. She was also a representative of a founding co-chair of the Forward Party, created by Andrew Yang.
Wow. I know, right? Okay, chat. Quiz time. You'll have.
Okay.
Okay, I know. Okay. You have 5 questions to answer. You have 2 minutes to answer one. Discuss with the class or representatives to find the correct answer. You'll get 1 point each. To get to the end to find what to use them for. Rules. No shouting out the answers. No cheating. Searching up the answers. I don't know how. Anyway, no begging for the answers. Yeah. First question. When did Christine's husband die? Cassie. Yes, raise your hand. This is a class, guys. This is a class.
2001.
In 2001. Yippee! Yeah. Second question. What party does Christine belong to? Sophia. What do you mean you don't? You might have. Yeah, the Forward Party. But she was before in the Republican Party. Before. Past tense. What age did Christine meet President Dwight Eisenhower? Sage. At the age of 9. Yippee! Yeah. Okay. Fourth question. What? That's not very nice. Guys. Yeah, you can't see this answer. What college did Christine serve as the board of trustees as? Yeah.
I wonder what it is.
You can't see it, guys. You can't see that. Alicia.
Valley College Community College.
Yeah. Yeah, guys.
Wow.
That was so very.
Such an amazing guess.
I know, right? Okay, fine, whatever. 5th question and last. Read how much you learned. We want to know so we can do whatever. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Christine's early life 1 to 10. Christine's adult life 1 to 5. I don't know why. Christine's employment 1 to 10. Christine's family 1 to 10. Yeah. Rate it, guys. Rate. Just say it. Just say a number.
10.
Yippee! Yeah, guys. Yeah. Before we hop off, chat. Thanks for your rating. We'll try to improve next time if your stay was only moderate. Yeah. Okay, we're done, guys.
We're done.
Yeah, we're done. No.
All right, next we have Judy Bloom. Okay.
Judy Bloom
Oh, you can hit this space bar.
by Ashton, Willis, Mason, and me. Early life. Ashton was supposed to read, but Judith Sussman was born on February 12, 1938. She lived in Elizabeth, New Jersey. She was the daughter of a homemaker named Ether Sussman. Her family was Jewish. When Judy Bloom was growing up, she dreamed of being a cowgirl, detective, and spy. Her love for fantasies and stories never went away. She went through many hardships and deaths. She had one brother that was 5 years older than her. Judy Bloom's education. Bloom had graduated from the all-girls Baton High School in 1956 and enrolled in Boston University. In 1959, her father had died, and in that same year, she married lawyer John M. Bloom. Judy Bloom adulthood. After Judy Bloom graduated from college, she gave birth to her daughter Randy Lee Bloom in 1961 and had a job of a homemaker. In 1963, she had her second child, who was named Lawrence Andrew Bloom. Judy started to become an author near when her kids started nursery school. How she became an author. Judy Bloom first began writing throughout New York University courses soon after her children started attending preschool, and tried to become a publisher after 2 years of rejections. She finally was able to publish her first book and then carried a job out as an author. Judy Bloom after retirement. After Judy Bloom retired in 2015 from her job as a writer, now 87 years old and having the job of a bookseller with her husband George Cooper, Judy Bloom shows hard work and dedication to her job. She wanted to give her kids a great future. Judy Bloom's accomplishments. Judy Bloom acquired over 80 awards in her books, won the Margaret Awards, a Lifetime Achievements from the Library Association, and got the Congress Living Legends Award. Rules of the minigame. No calling out. Do not rush our slides. If you don't get picked, don't get mad. I hope you listen closely because you're mostly picking the people who has their hands up. Well, not up at least. And if you get it wrong, we'll just pick on someone else. Question 1. Did Judy Bloom die? If she did die, how old was she? You. Correct. What was Judy Bloom's struggle while trying to publish her books? Andrew. Correct. What university did Judy Bloom attend? Correct. All that apply. What did she dream of when being a kid? The answer was D. Correct. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure at least.
Everyone was paying attention. Good job. All right. Who's up for Katherine Johnson?
Like what you do, and then you will do your best. By Katherine Johnson.
Katherine Johnson.
Made by Laura and Allie.
All right, so you guys can just progress it here, and it's probably easier if you just do it right off of the screen. No.
Oh.
You can watch the screen. Here you go.
Okay. Katherine Johnson, born on August 26, 1918, where she was born. White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia. Died on February 24th, 2020, where she died. Newport News, Virginia.
Early life. Catherine was born in 1918. She fell in love with math very early in life. She was an amazing student in school and skipped almost all grades. And she went to high school at the age of 10 and graduated college at 18.
A year or two later, she picked up a teaching job in Virginia and then married James Goebel. After her husband's death, she moved to Virginia and got a job as a substitute teacher. While she applied for a job at Langley Aeronautical Laboratory.
Accomplishments. Catherine G. Johnson died in the year 2020. Catherine was a very smart mathematician and space scientist who worked for NASA and helped with many missions, such as the Apollo 13 and the first American flight in space.
Catherine G. Johnson was educated at the West Virginia State University in 1937. Catherine Johnson graduated with a bachelor's degree in mathematics and French. Name: Catherine Goebel Johnson. Age of death: 101. Fun facts. Did you know that Catherine Johnson's mathematical equations sent the first man on the moon?
Did you know she was one of the first Black students who integrated into West Virginia's graduate schools?
Did you know because Catherine Johnson was so smart, she was called a
Human computer and solved crucial math equations for NASA. Contributions. Catherine helped with the Apollo 11 mission by calculating trajectories and launching time span windows for early space flights. She impacted the community by inspiring others, including women, to fulfill their dreams in STEM careers.
She played an important role in the Mercury program, calculating the equations for Alan Shepard's Freedom 7 mission, the first American in space, and verifying computer calculations for John Glenn's Friendship 7 mission, the first American in Earth's orbit.
And that's all.
That's
Thank
it.
you for listening to that.
Thanks, guys. Good. Who's up for Lori Hernandez?
Lori Hernandez by Donovan, Andrew, and Baron. Introduction. Today we'll be talking about Lori Hernandez, one of the greatest gymnasts ever. She got her USA team 2 medals in the Summer Olympics in Rio, 1 team gold medal and 1 silver medal for the balance beam.
Early life. Lori Hernandez was born on June 9, 2000 in New Brunswick, New Jersey, and she also grew up in Old Bridge, New Jersey. She began her gymnast journey at 5 years old, eventually becoming a world-class gymnast and an Olympic medalist. Her parents are Anthony Hernandez and Wanda Hernandez. She went to Robert N. Wilslentz School and Ambika Academy High School.
Lori Hernandez retired as a gymnast at 21 to pursue media and television shows like Dancing with the Stars. She also became an author and wrote a book to share her experiences and to inspire others. She donates to charities and helps others by telling stories about her ADHD and how she dealt with it. She attends NYU as a drama student.
Fun fact, she won Dancing with the Stars. And when we said she grew up in Old Bridge, we mean Old Bridge Township. We've got to put that in.
2. She is known as the Himi emoji for her big smile.
Her favorite color is lime green.
She has a brother Marcus and a sister Jelas. Summary. In conclusion, Lori Hernandez is a great gymnast. She has won 2 medals. She continues to inspire others through her experiences.
Pictures of Lori Hernandez. The first one is Lori Hernandez celebrating with Simone Biles and her team.
Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed our presentation.
Okay, and we've got one more. It's SZA.
do. Alicia.
Okay, go on the spot. Try not to like. It's fine.
Alicia.
Okay.
All About SZA by Leah R.,
Alicia,
Sage.
Abrielle,
and Angelina.
Today we are going to talk about SZA, who surprisingly grew up in Maplewood, New Jersey. We ask you to please be quiet and respectful while we are presenting. Also, no computers, so close them down. By the way, there will be at the quiz at the end to see what you learned. We will now start. Who is SZA? SZA is an American singer-songwriter who has 69 awards and is from Maplewood, New Jersey.
SZA's achievements. American singer-songwriter SZA has won 69 awards, including 5 Grammy Awards, 4 MTV Video Music Awards, 8 Billboard Music Awards, 6 BET Awards, 6 Soul Train Music Awards, and 1 Brit Award.
Fun facts about SZA. Her favorite color is purple. Solani Imani Rowe is her real name. She has amassed a fortune of $12 million. Her biggest hits were Kill Bill, Broken Clocks, and Love Galore. 5. She has won over 69 awards. She has ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. 6. Her first song was If I Had a Soldier. And 8. She had a pet dog named Piglet.
Early life. SZA has a half-sister, Panya Rowe, and parents Audrey and Abdul Alim Mubarak Rowe. She used to go to a Muslim school, so she wore a hijab to respect the people's religion. But she used to get bullied in high school because of it. She was born on November 8, 1989. SZA when she was young.
Adult life. SZA went to college majoring in marine biology. She became a successful singer in 2017 when she came out with this song, If I Had a Soldier. She has been in brief relationship with Drake in 2009. She also has been in a relationship with Scott
Sasso.
for 11 years. They were engaged for 5 years. When she and her ex-fiance, Scott Sasso, separated, she made a song called Nobody Gets Me.
SZA's unique qualities and more about her. SZA, known for a unique blend of R&B, pop, rap, and indie influences, stands out for her lyrics, her ability to connect with her listeners through relatable stories of self-discovery, emotional complexities. Her songs dive into complex emotions like her heartbreak and search for love, making her music more relate with wide audience. SZA blends R&B, pop, rap, and indie elements, creating a unique sound that sounds like it has influenced R&B. Her lyrics often feel like personal journey entries, showing a glimpse through her thoughts and feelings, which allows her to have a deeper connection with her fans. SZA never fails to create an inclusive environment for her fans, drawing on her own experience as an outsider.
Acting career. SZA has made her acting debut in 2025 with the Issa Rae production film One of Them Days, playing Alyssa alongside Keke Palmer, who plays Drux.
We hope that you were able to listen to us equate. I think it's educate. It's now time for the quiz.
Okay. Question 1. Where did she grow up? Maywood, Maplewood, or Teaneck?
Who would like to answer?
We would like some of the board members to try.
Let's try an adult.
What?
Yeah, she said
Yeah.
Maplewood?
Yeah, you were right.
Wait.
Yes, she was right.
All right. How many awards did she win?
Choose an
C, 69.
Correct.
Yay.
What was her last relationship? A. Travis Scott, B. Travis Kelce, C. Drake, and D. Scott Sasso.
Let's do it.
Andrew.
Sorry. D?
D.
Let's do it.
Correct.
Yeah. What school did she go to? A. Catholic, B. Muslim, or C. Charter?
You saw this already.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Last question.
Yeah, she said. Go.
Yeah, she said it. Yeah, you were correct.
What is her half sister's name? Tanya, Hannah, Lucy, or Panya? I saw Laura first.
Laura,
Sorry, Laura.
Andrew, you already saw this.
She said D. She said D.
It's
fine.
right.
She got it right.
She said it before.
She got it right anyways.
Okay.
It's okay. You all did really good.
Conclusion. SZA is an amazing singer-songwriter who inspires you and an inspiration for young women and older women too. Like our other slides said, she connects with her big audience.
Do her music.
Goodbye. And have a good night. We really hope you enjoyed this presentation.
Thank you. Wait, what am I talking?
That was the last one.
So I just want to tell you guys, I still sit up here and it's nerve-wracking sometimes, so I get it. But you did an amazing, amazing job. And the reason why we want to hear from you guys is because we want to celebrate all your hard work and the hard work of your teachers. And you did phenomenal. And my favorite part was how you guys encourage each other and support each other when you're up here. So it's a beautiful thing. So thank you guys for coming tonight. And it was amazing.
I just want to second what Mrs. Hadnot said. You guys did a great job. It really does take a lot of guts to stand up here in front of a room full of people, most of which you don't know, and you've got board members and other important people here, and you guys did great. So I want to thank your teachers. I want to thank you for volunteering to bring the kids tonight. Ms. Torres and Ms. Sanders could not be here tonight. Interestingly enough, they're at a women's leadership conference in honor of Women's History Month. So they do send their best, and they were tuning in. They actually texted me to let me know that they're watching. So good job, and thank you very much. And parents, if you do want to leave, you feel free. It's a school night. We get it. Unless you want to sit around and watch the budget presentation, it's up to you guys. All right. Thank you.
Good night.
Okay. All right, moving on. I'll take it from here. We'll move right into our director's report. First and foremost, we've got, as typical, we've got our enrollment update. The enrollment is still holding strong at 377. We did never actually fill that 8th grade position this year, so we were one short of our full enrollment for the year. But otherwise, all other spots are taken. Admissions update, we actually have all of our case spots that have been accepted. I just wanted to let everybody know that I'll be sending out the intent forms this week for returning students, so we'll have a much better idea of any vacancies that we may have for the coming year. Once those are all processed and we know for a fact in writing who's coming back and who's not coming back, we'll have a much better idea of what vacancies we'll have for next year. Those invitations will go out after the school year is over, but in terms of planning, it'll be good to know in advance who's coming back and who's not. Next, I just have a brief update on some of the events. First, I just want to give kudos to the cast and crew of Beetlejuice Jr. It was a phenomenal performance. It was really great. I was here opening night. It was a lot of fun. The kids were awesome. And all the work that went into it from all the parent volunteers and from our staff. It definitely doesn't it doesn't go unnoticed. We appreciate all the hard work, and I know it was a grueling, basically 6-7 days straight, from the last week on. So we do appreciate it. Jeff could not be here tonight, but he did say that at the next meeting, I guess the VPA will have some more photos and things like that you guys want to share in a more formal way. So we'll keep that on the slate for next meeting. But I just wanted to personally say it was a great job, and I want to congratulate everybody on a job well done. So good job. A couple other events that we have coming up this coming Thursday, I should say, is actually our STEM night, which is a new event that we're incorporating, which is going to be a great addition to our curriculum nights. Ms. Scalisi has been working on that, and we've got some presenters, we've got some other activities that we'll be sharing that evening. That same day, we actually have several Earth Day assemblies that we've got outside presenters coming in to present to the kids. So it's really a science-based day on Thursday. Next week is spring break, so we will be closed. We have the Junior Knicks Clinic, which is coming up, which is something that we actually were able to arrange with one of our rental partners, CMEC. It should be really exciting to have the opportunity to work with the Junior Knicks. There's one session for boys, one session for girls. I actually looked today, and registration is still available for anybody who didn't get to register when I sent the initial blast out like 2 weeks ago. So that's still open. And we also have a Horizons night. I don't have the date in front of me, but Miss Danielle, she had sent out the information on that to the relevant parents whose kids are going to be presenting. So we'll have more information on that at our next meeting. But there's a lot going on. And most importantly, after all that, once we get into May 2nd is our TCSCO Gala, our annual celebration fundraiser. So I just wanted to put another plug out for that. Keep an eye on your emails. You'll get plenty more reminders and things like that as that goes along. Do we have any kind of update on that, on the gala? We're all set and ready to roll? Yes? Perfect. All right. Yeah. So more information to come on that, but that's always a good time. So we hope that everybody can make it. And then the last thing I have just before I'm moving into the budget is just a reminder again that the NJSLA testing is going to start on the 28th of this month with our 3rd and 4th grade. I'm sending out the full schedule and a reminder to parents this week as well, just with some of the guidelines and reminders about bringing something to read and some of the rules about no phones in the testing rooms and things like that. So we are at that part of the year. That's the 29th is the date. Okay. Yeah. So the Horizons presentation is on the 29th. So we're looking forward to that as well, because it's going to be a good opportunity to showcase our newly revamped Gifted and Talented program, which we are very pleased to have this year. Any questions on any of that? Perfect. Okay. So now I will move on to my annual budget presentation. Okay, there is no quiz at the end, so don't worry about that. But please feel free to pay attention. And if you have any questions as we go along, you feel free to ask me, board members, that is, anyone from the public. If you would just hold your questions to the end, that would be appreciated. Okay. All right. Let's start with the slideshow. All right. So for the coming year, I'm going to actually just give a brief breakdown in a summarized version with some graphs about what our different categories are for spending, what kind of revenue we have coming in, and how we've really sort of planned for the coming year, which I'll be very honest is not going to be the easiest of situations that we're dealing with. Over the last, I guess this is probably the 10th budget presentation I've given in this position. This is the first time that we've had a really significant drop in revenue. And there are several factors that are related to that, and we'll get into that in the presentation, but just keep that in mind. But also keep in mind that we're doing a lot of diligent planning to make sure that there's not going to be an impact on our operations for next year. We had a really long finance committee meeting last week to really go over the entire budget line by line. So we are comfortable with that, and I'll let you guys talk about that during your committee updates. But we are on track, and we're ready to submit the budget, and we're going to be okay for the next year. All right. So starting with revenue, as I mentioned, we are facing a downward trend when it comes to revenue. Next year, actually, our revenue is approximately $345,000 less than our 2024-2025 revenue. There are several factors that lead into that. First and foremost, it has to do with aid, which is about $200,000 less than we received last year. But that aid is down because the per pupil amount is down because of some new categories and ways that those numbers are figured out by the state as well. Even though we're adding 10 students, which typically would be something that leads to a revenue increase, they changed the way that the special ed funding gets trickled down to schools. So where in all previous years, all schools got aid based on the average of the special ed population in the state, this is the first year that they're actually doing it on a school by school basis. So Teaneck Public District has a significantly higher special ed population than we do. So they actually will be receiving special ed revenue that doesn't trickle down to us because we're not getting those kids. We only get the special ed aid for those particular kids. And as a result, their population has gone down, which is impacting the amount that we get. So we did a lot of research into this because we were surprised to see the aid notice that showed that we were increasing kids but getting less aid. But we followed up with the Charter Association. They did some calculations and were able to give us some idea of why that particularly happened. Another thing that kind of comes into play is the fact that there was a minimal tax levy increase where there wasn't any kind of big jump when it came to that. We are dealing overall with less federal aid because all of the COVID money is gone, right? There's no more ESSER, ARP, American Recovery money. So last year we received $70,000 from that. The year before we received $327,000 for that, and this year that doesn't exist anymore. So that's another piece of federal funding that we are not going to be receiving because it doesn't exist. In the state, the government has a hold harmless protection in place for charter schools that says that your per pupil amount can't go down by more than 5%. So in order to kind of make up the gap, we are going to get some hold harmless protection, but it's something like $21,000 that goes back into our revenue, which helps a little bit, but it doesn't cover the entire shortfall when it comes to the per pupil amount that we'll be getting. All right. I just want to also point out, though, that all the numbers that we're dealing with, for the most part, that are allocated to us are just estimated based on the governor's budget proposal. The official numbers are something that we get later on after it's approved by the state. And we eventually, actually, also, as you guys know, we just recently approved our revised budget for the current year. We'll be dealing with real numbers after we get our actual count in October. Okay, so is that pretty clear? Right. Okay. So looking at our revenue, we have $7.9 million coming into the general fund. This includes some anticipated revenue of $115,000, which we'll be getting from interest and from rentals, which are going to be a major component for the coming year. We're going to have a big push to really, maximize our rentals wherever we possibly can, because all of that is income that we accept into our general fund that we can then reallocate and spend on students and other school activities. Right now, our estimated amounts for the ESEA and IDA, which are the federal grants that we still will be receiving, it comes in at $126,669, which again, once we have the real numbers, we'll be able to modify that, but this is a strong estimate. So overall, our budget that we're working with for this year is $8,071,940, which is a lot of money, all right? But when you look at some of the spending and some of the ways that we're able to spend it, we have very few ways to sort of spend it in a flexible way because a lot of our money is tied up in non-negotiable fixed expenses. So looking at these expenses, it's important to remember that 85% of everything that we spend, we can't even touch, right? Because that goes up to salaries, benefits, our rent / mortgage, and all that is non-negotiable because it's all contractual or it's all based on lease agreements and things like that. The 4 different categories that we do spend in are instructional, administrative, support, and capital outlay, right? One thing I just want to, again, highlight, and we talked about this at length in our Finance Committee meeting, is really in order to ensure that there are sufficient remaining funds after that 85%, to cover whatever expenses still exist, We've done everything we can to get specific quotes and deal with really specific budgets, so that we know already in advance what certain things are going to cost, so we don't get too many surprises. And we're going to hope that there are not additional surprises as we had this year with the HVAC system and things like that. And we otherwise are in a good position after looking at all the numbers and looking at the bottom line. All right. So our expense categories, as I said, are broken down into 4 different areas: instructional expenses, which is the most, followed by support services, which is after that. So instructional accounts for $3.5 million. Support services is $2.2 million. Next after that is administrative expenses, which are just slightly under $2 million. And then our capital outlay, which has to do with building improvements and things specifically for the building. We've allocated $130,000 for that, for a total expenditure of $7.9 million. All right. So it's important to note too, when looking at these different categories, all right, you may look at this and say $2 million. Why are we spending $2 million on administrative expenses? That is not going just to the administration. Let me be very clear on that. The administrative expenses also include all benefits that are paid out to the entire staff, right? So that's a little over $1 million. It's actually like $1 million. So when we have to do the breakdown to show that at least 60% of the total budget is going to instructional expenses, those benefits actually get spread out into those different groups to match up with those salaries that they're getting. So when you actually spread that all out, you see that 64% goes to instructional expenses, 23% goes to support expenses, and 13% is actually our administrative expenses, which gives a much clearer view of our actual spending. All right. So now I'm just going to take a second to look at each of those different categories. We're going to look at all the different lines that we have and look at them in graph form, and really get an idea of what we're spending the most and the least on. And then for each of these categories, I've just got a couple little highlights that I wanted to point out. So we know that, there are certain things that we're definitely hitting. All right. So looking at all of our instructional expenses, you see, and what I've done, and I've taken accustomed to over the years is I sort them based on the amounts, so we see what we're spending the most on and the least on in each of these categories. Obviously, teacher salaries are going to make up the biggest part of our instructional expenses, which is almost $3 million. We've got our paraprofessional salaries at about $500,000. Miscellaneous covers everything from subscriptions and other school activities that are related to instruction. After that, we've got our textbooks, which aren't really textbooks in the traditional form. It's a lot of software subscriptions and things like that we use in the classrooms. General supplies, which are our classroom supplies that teachers get a budget for in order to have equipment and things like that in the classroom for students to use. And then professional services, which are some of the outside providers that provide things that are related to instruction. And when we talk about professional development and things like that. All right. So overall, the instructional expenses come to $3.5 million. And a couple of things I wanted to just point out on that are the salaries, which again are non-negotiable, as I mentioned, because we are looking at contractual increases, right? So in the teacher's contract, there's a 3.4% increase in salaries. But one thing we've also taken into consideration is the fact that we do have some planned turnover with retirements and things like that, with people leaving at the top of the guide. And there's opportunity to have some savings and some of that with new hires, depending on our ability to hire people who will be potentially a little more affordable. And these are things that we'll keep in mind as we go through the process. The other thing I do want to point out, because this was a major thing that we talked a lot about for this past year, was field trips. I want to, everyone to rest assured that there's not going to be a huge impact on field trips as a result of some of these changes in our funding. But right now we've got $27,000 that's specifically allocated to field trips. But that's not the clear picture of what we get to spend on those outings, right? Because we also have the transportation line, which we combine with that, and we spread that out over all the grade levels. So for the coming year, we're looking at allocating $7,777 to each grade level. This past year it was $9,000, so it's a little bit less. But at the same time, looking at at the records that we kept because of the new process that we put into place, this is pretty much in line with what most of the grade levels spent this year. So we did have a lot of field trips this year. So as long as we're spending on that same sort of trajectory, and we're just mindful in the trips that we're approving and making sure that there's, real academic and educational value in the outings that we're taking, we're going to be in good shape when it comes to that. So there's really not going to be too much of a hit when it comes to our field trips. All right. Any questions on instructional expenses from the board before I move on? Okay. Perfect. All right, next category is administrative expenses. And again, this is not just our administrators, but it also has everything to do with the general administration of the school, anything relating to the business office, and other things that we use to improve instruction and professional development that is, ultimately also going to help our teachers as well. All right, so this includes our admin and secretary salaries, all the employee benefits, as I mentioned before, which includes healthcare, pension, and payroll taxes, any legal costs that the district incurs, auditors, consultants, other people who work for us that aren't on salary, any accounting and payroll information that we have to pay for, our communications, which thankfully we were able to actually really have a big decrease in that because we had a major buyout of all of our equipment this year. So that's an expense that we're able to really sort of absorb going forward, at least for the couple years going forward, as well as any office supplies and other miscellaneous and board expenses that may be incurred. All right. So looking at this, obviously the largest chunk, as I mentioned, is the benefits for the entire staff. All right, so overall that comes in at $1.3 million, and that covers all the health benefits and payroll taxes and things like that. Next after that is our administrative salaries, which are just under $500,000. Our secretarial salaries, which are at $82,000. Any service consultants that we outsource for $53,000. Other purchase services relating to maintaining the building, that's at $50,000. Legal costs, which is again on par with what we're spending this year between our legal counsel and other legal services. That's at $32,000. Miscellaneous expenses for the district and for the board, that's at $19,000. And then, as I mentioned, communications was actually closer to $40,000 last year. We were able to drop that to $10,000. And our office supplies, we're looking at $10,000 for that as well. That should get us through the entire year. Especially when taking consideration the inventory of things that we already have. All right. So in total, we've got an administrative expense budget of $2,053,752. I just wanted to highlight a couple things. Obviously, the benefits are a huge expense, and it's something that we have to obviously deal with, and is again not negotiable. We have a $1.3 million that we've put into that. That's actually about $100,000 more than we had to spend this year because those things do go up, and it's often tied to the salary guide and everything else. Just another thing I wanted to highlight here, just about everyone up here already knows this, but the line 63 after our finance committee, this was actually also in the report, a decision was made to reallocate $2,000 that was before allocated to board expenses, which has to do with incidentals for the board and things like that. A decision was made to actually reallocate that to classroom supplies. All right, so that's being moved and has been moved to line 47. So that's going to reduce some of the budgetary impact on instruction. It's going to equal about $65 a teacher for classroom supplies and things like that. That ultimately, if we weren't able to provide, unfortunately, in the profession, often comes out of teachers' own pockets. So I'm sure that'll be greatly appreciated, and that's a very welcome gesture by the board. So thank you guys for that. All right. Any questions about administrative expenses? Okay. All right. Next is support services. These are all the costs that are associated with things that are related to assisting the instructional staff with content. So this also has to do with setting up those learning experiences. So it's not necessarily things that are right in the classroom, but it's the things that let them actually get through with the day-to-day. So not only is this relating to classroom instruction, but we've got all of our custodians, our lunch service, our nurse, anyone who is not certificated in those ways, they're included in support services, as well as our child study team. Any vendors that we work with for child study team, they're also included there. Any building services that are related to maintenance, and any supplies that we get relating to maintenance, that all comes through support. So the other really big ticket on this one, obviously, is our rent, which is non-negotiable and built into our lease agreement, and that's a major expense that we have every year. All right, and other things relating to just operations when it comes to keeping the lights on, keeping the heat on, all those energy costs are really factored in. And again, wherever possible, we don't have a specific quote for those kinds of things. We've used historical data as much as we possibly can, looked at old bills to make sure that we've set aside enough to cover the coming year. As long as there's no extreme weather one way or the other. All right. So looking at all these, there's a lot of categories. Rent is the highest of those. So at $850,000, that's where our rent and mortgage money goes. Our support salaries come in at $831,000. So that's a lot of the staff that I mentioned before, such as the nurse and maintenance and lunch services and everything else like that. Any other building and support services, which are those supplies that we use on the day-to-day, we've got $161,000 to spend on that. Our insurance, which is obviously also a major expense for the district, is about $138,000 for liability and everything else that comes along with that. Our energy costs, again, as I mentioned, were estimated based on current use and historical use. Transportation, which gets combined with the field trips and for any sort of athletic transportation, stuff like that. That's all factored into that $53,000 that we have allocated. Any additional supplies for the building, that's $50,000 that we've got put there. Any support consultants are $45,000. And then miscellaneous support is only $4,500 based on what we've had to spend before and any quotes that we've gotten. So our support services line comes in at $2,215,698. And a couple of things that we want to point out when it comes to that are, again, the salaries line for that. One major change that we're finally seeing kind of come to fruition here is the fact that we now have a 12-month nurse, where before, for any summer programs and things like that, we had to outsource. We had to work on an hourly basis for any service that we brought in to cover nursing, which is mandated if we're going to have programs going on in the building. So it's great that we now have a 12-month nurse on contract, and that's helpful. We also have a part-time lunch services coordinator, which is something different than we had before, where that was a full-time position, but now it's going to split time in the main office, which kind of takes a little bit off of that line. Transportation, I just want to reiterate that this is, again, not going to have too huge of an impact on the field trips that we're able to have. The general transportation is going to be combined with field trips to provide each grade level with 77, which again, the teachers are now in the habit of booking these things in advance and taking the transportation into effect, which is something that we started this year, and it really has been eye-opening to find out, what that aspect of field trips really costs, because the transportation is typically the biggest part of that, because we don't have our own bus. All right. Any concerns, questions about support? Great. All right, and then finally, it's just capital outlay that has to do with procuring equipment, acquiring land, and buying other things like that are relating to the building or expanding the building. That also typically includes any instructional equipment, such as computers and things that are in the classrooms, as well as non-instructional equipment such as furniture and things like that. And obviously the bigger expense typically is always going to be any kind of improvements that we have to make. All right, so this slide is going to look a little different, because all of the capital outlay that we have, we're going to be putting into improvements. So this 130 that we still have left over when looking at all the other expenses, we intend to put this towards the HVAC first phase when it comes to replacing the HVAC in this particular area that is not working, or at least in the summertime. So we do have a plan in place for that, as we discussed sort of at length in the finance and facility committees, as well as at recent board meetings. That is already underway. We have purchased a new unit. And as much as we can spend on that project while we have funds this year, we're looking to do that to make sure that we're in good shape for spending the rest of it next year, at the beginning of the year, at least over the summer, with this 130. All right. And we're comfortable doing that and allocating all that in there because this year we did a great job of procuring equipment, furniture, doing requisitions with any teachers who need those sorts of things in their classrooms. Again, while we had the money this year, we made sure that we have a solid inventory of those things. Same thing goes for computers and whatnot. Our intention is to make sure that we sort of bulk up those inventories so that we're all set for next year and don't have any sort of unforeseen expenses, which is why we want to get it while we can. The capital improvements, as I mentioned, this is going to be completing phase 1 of our HVAC replacement plan, and the beginning of the project is getting paid for during this fiscal year. At the very, very end of the school year, basically days after the kids get out, we are going to be moving on that so that we can really maximize the time and also make sure that we're using the funds from this year as much as we possibly can. All right. So that's our only capital outlay is the HVAC. There's no other construction or anything like that. That's expected for next year. So that's what we're looking at. So those are our categories. There's a lot to sort of digest there. I understand that, but I just want to reassure everybody that we have done our due diligence in making sure that we are prepared for the coming year. And I also just want to kind of take a step back and look at things in perspective. Over the years, every single year there have been increases. Right, not every year, but basically looking back on all my previous presentations like this, I think the largest decrease that I had, I think, was maybe 8 or 9 years ago, and that was like $20,000. All right, so this is a little bit different, but we're dealing with a much different situation because of all the different federal funding and things like that didn't exist before that. So all that COVID money and everything else that we no longer have. That was really a luxury for a couple of years. And we maximized those things as much as we possibly could. If you look at our classrooms and you look at the technology that we have and we look at the things that are going to last for some time, we've made the best of that money while we had it, while making sure that the year-to-year expenses are something that we're able to plan for with the budget that we're given. And the whole budgeting and planning process was a big part of that. So thank you to the Finance Committee for sitting down with us last week. Thank you to Tom for helping out with that as well, and making sure that everything is in order so that we can comfortably move into the next year, even in light of the obvious concerns with the revenue decrease. All right. Any questions overall from anybody? Anybody, I guess not. Okay. That works for me. Thank you. All right. No problem.
All right, so next week, I'm stealing your pen.
That's it took me a while to get this one back from you. I know. Yeah.
Next we have committee updates. So the only committee that met, I think, was finance. And I feel like we went through it all, but if you want to add anything.
You went pretty detailed. We just kind of took it a step further and went line by line, so that's line by line. A lot of tiny lines. Oh, thank you. Literally went into that covering everything. So I did just want to say that I appreciated Tom and Mr. Gallo walking us through all of that, because it is quite intensive, and especially if you're not day to day in the hands of everything. So they really took a lot of time to explain everything and really presented what I thought was a very carefully thought out process in trying to mitigate a reduction of funds, and coupled with some of the immediate needs of the HVAC and some of the other things that are really priorities for our community. And yeah, so that's pretty much it.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Anita.
We also had a board retreat. Our board retreat consisted of leadership styles, and we learned a lot about each other. So it kind of defined under 4 categories where everyone fell, and we talked about how to work together with our strengths and weaknesses. So it was really, really nice. And I thank everybody for coming. And we have one more this year. Didn't plan it yet. We're going to have it. Okay?
Have you, Matt knows that, right?
Yeah, Matt knows.
Okay, all right.
And Tom knows.
Okay.
Right, Tom? There's 3 this year. Our goal as a result of some of our feedback on our surveys last year was 2 to 3. So the goal is 3. Hopefully we can figure it out within the next 2 months. If we can't, at least we've met the objective of 2. And that's it for the board recap. So you want to go to resolution?
Perfect. I will go through the 10 resolutions we have for tonight. First, we've got the budget summary, which are all the bills that have been paid since the last meeting. We've got the SBA financial report, which Tom sent out, and that's for the month of February. We've got the 25-26 budget that I just presented to everybody. We've got the acceptance of the audit for 23-24, which was also shared. That has finally come together after some delays with the state and everything else. We've got the personnel appointment of a substitute custodian who we are looking to hire for substitute work and summer work as well. We've got a personnel appointment for an additional substitute teacher because we're always looking to expand our roster on that. We've got an addition of the personnel appointments for the SAI and ESY programs that Ms. Anders had actually sent my way earlier today. She had sent those offers out to the staff who will be working those positions. We've got an HIB affirmation from the last meeting that I was unable to attend, but it's the HIB that you guys discussed in closed session with Ms. Anders. And then we've got the acknowledgement of a retirement that we will discuss a little bit more at length when we get to that one. And then finally, there is going to be a closed session to discuss personnel matters, more specifically to discuss my evaluation. Right? Okay.
Any public comment regarding the resolutions? Any public comment in general?
That was the hands up.
With the resolution?
Anything, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what you just read, right?
Yeah.
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 I mean, you guys didn't go into depth with it, but I just wanted to make a comment on the retirement.
I would love that.
Nice. Sure. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay, all right. If anybody read the agenda, they would know that Ms. Yvonne is retiring. It breaks my heart, but I'm happy that she's taking this time to, retire, recuperate, and everything, because her life is important to all of us. She's the heart of the school. I believe she was the heart of the school. I walk in this building now, and I don't feel like home like I used to. And she just mean a lot to the school. I also want to say that if we are hiring for the secretary position or the next upcoming secretary position, that we find somebody as vibrant as she is. And that's it for resolutions. But if she's listening, I love you, Miss Yvonne.
Do you want to say
Thanks,
who's
Magdalene.
speaking, Magdalene, so she knows, the audience knows who's talking?
Oh, it's Magdalene.
There you go. All right. Okay. Do you have any general comment?
Oh, I do. Okay. General comment. I just also want to say that TCCS has a raffle going on right now to raise money for the teachers' tickets. It's principal for the day, so if any child wants to be Miss Flores for the day, this is the time to do it. It's going to end on Friday. All the money that we raise from this will go towards reducing the teachers' tickets for the gala.
Perfect. Yes, thank you for organizing that, Magdalene. We'll send another blast out about that. It was included in a special Saturday backpack notice this week. Yes. And yeah, I think if the kids aren't getting it from their parents, they may not know about it. I do know that there were some envelopes that definitely came in today because I had some questions from staff who also probably didn't see the backpack notice. So we'll make sure that gets announced tomorrow morning. All right. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay. So you guys ready? All right. Resolution 2504-01 budget summary. Be it resolved that the budget summary for March 11, 2025 to April 7, 2025, total amount of $271,870.39 be approved. Moved by Gonzalez moves. Vallejo Justice seconds. Any questions or comments from the board? Avino?
Yes.
Bahari?
Yes.
Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Goodrich?
Yes.
Lazu?
Yes.
McGilchrist?
Yes.
Vallejo Justy?
Yes.
Hadnot, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2504-02, SBA Financial Report, February 2025. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees approve the SBA Financial Report for February 25th, 2025. Moved by Vallejo Justy moves. Second. McGilchrist seconds. Any questions or comments from the board? Avino?
Yes.
Bahari?
Yes.
Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Goodrich?
Yes.
Lazu?
Yes.
McGilchrist?
Yes.
Vallejo Justy?
Yes.
Hadnot, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2504-03, the 2025-2026 budget. Whereas TCCS is required to submit to the Commissioner of Education a budget each year, and whereas it is required that this budget be approved by resolution, and whereas DOE has decimated the budget figures as general fund $7,943,271, special revenue fund $128,669, with a total budget of $8,071,940. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the attached submission of the budget for the school year 2025-2026 be accepted and approved. Moved by Vallejo Justy moves. Second. Abino seconds. Sorry, I missed it. Any questions or comments from the board? Avino?
Yes.
Bahari?
Yes.
Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Goodrich?
Yes.
Lazu?
Yes.
McGilchrist?
Yes.
Vallejo Justy? Hadnot, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2504-04, acceptance of audit 2023-2024. Whereas the Tina Community Charter School is required by law to employ an outside auditor to audit its books as per regulation, and whereas the district contracted with D. Maria and Associates LLC CPAs to perform this audit, and whereas the comprehensive annual financial and management report has been completed and filed according to the NJDOE regulations, and whereas the Board of Trustees must review and approve this report and comply within 30 days to any findings and submit an appropriate remedial plan. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees accepts said annual financial and management report for 2023-2024. Note, there were no audit findings. Moved by Vallejo Justy moves. Second. McGilchrist seconds. Any questions or comments from the board? Again, I just want to thank Tom for his diligence with the budget. Any other question or comment? Avino?
Yes.
Bahari?
Yes.
Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Goodrich?
Yes.
Lazu?
Yes.
McGilchrist?
Yes.
Vallejo Justy?
Yes.
Hadnot, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2504-05, the personnel appointment of a substitute custodian. Be it resolved that the board approve the following personnel appointment: Albert Doyle, substitute custodian at $25 an hour. Moved by McGilchrist moves. Second. Ooh. I think I'm going Lazu. It was tied. Any questions or comments from the board? Avino?
Yes.
Bahari?
Yes.
Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yeah.
Goodrich?
Yes.
Lazu?
Yes.
McGilchrist?
Yes.
Vallejo Justy?
Yes.
Hadnot, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2504-06, personnel appointment of a substitute. Be it resolved that the board approve the following personnel appointment: Gina McCullers, substitute teacher at $150 a day. Moved by McGilchrist moves. Second. Goodrich seconds. Any questions or comments from the board? Avino?
Yes.
Bahari?
Yeah.
Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Goodrich?
Yes.
Lazu?
Yes.
McGilchrist?
Yes.
Vallejo Justy?
Yes.
Hadnot, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2504-07, personnel appointments, the summer enrichment programs and extended school year. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees approve the following personnel appointments for the 2025 extended school year summer academic intervention program. Program dates Monday, June 30th, 2025 to Friday, August 1st. No ESY on July 4th. The program hours are 8:15 to 12:45. Student hours are from 8:30 to 12:30. Employment dependent upon the number of students enrolled and attending. Jean Cuffer, Danielle Esposito, Sean Lloyd, David Aji, Jen Lehman, and Alicia Alonso. Alicia. Moved by?
Carter.
Carter moves, second. Vino, we'll go with Vino. Any questions or comments from the board? Bahari?
Yes.
Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Goodrich?
Yes.
Lazoo?
Yes.
McGilchrist?
Kurt Mitchell.
I'm missing a Vino.
Oh,
I'm going to blame Christina on that. She gave me this resolution.
Yes.
And she's listening.
I'm
She
gonna
took it over.
change-
Yeah, you
I'm gonna
changed
change
it.
Mitchell to Avino. Sorry, Joe. Okay. So now
We'll reprint it too. We'll take care of it after the fact.
Avino.
Yes. I'm missing Mitchell.
Vallejo Justy. Thanks for saving me before I said it. Had not, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2504-08, HIB affirmation. Be it resolved that the TCCS Board of Trustees affirm the determination of a HIB form number 24-25.17 as unfounded. Moved by? Lazoo moves. Second. Avino seconds. Any questions or comments from the board? Avino?
Yes.
Bahari?
Yes.
Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Goodrich?
Yes.
Lazoo?
Yes.
McGilchrist?
I wasn't here, so I'm abstaining.
Vallejo Justy?
Yes.
Had not, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2504-09, acknowledgement of retirement. Be it resolved that the TCCS Board of Trustees acknowledge the retirement of Yvonne Masai effective March 18, 2025. Moved by? Nobody wants to move it.
Huh?
Nobody wants to move it. Moved by?
You're just acknowledging it. You're not approving it.
So Gilchrist moves? Gilchrist moves, second. Gonzalez seconds. I want to echo a little bit of what Magdalene said. One of the amazing things about Miss Yvonne was that she knew everybody's car and everybody who picked up every student in this building. I don't know how she was able to do that. And you would just pull up and wave and she knew exactly who to call. She definitely was a presence in the building, an energy in the building, and there are huge shoes to fill. So Miss Yvonne, we wish you the best and congratulations on your retirement if it passes.
I'll also, again, you're only acknowledging it. You're not approving her retirement. Yes, yeah. I want to echo a lot of that too. I've worked with Miss Yvonne for 21 years, or not. I haven't worked with her for that long because she wasn't here when I started, but I've known her for that long because I taught her kids, and have known her family for quite some time. So yes, she certainly has been a fixture throughout, even when she wasn't working here. She has that sort of presence, and everybody who knows her can absolutely tell a Miss Yvonne story, based on the time that you've spent with her, met her, even if it was just in passing. So she will certainly be missed. We absolutely wish her the very best. And yeah, I just want to wish her a very restful and well-deserved retirement, and wish her the very best. All right.
Anybody else? Will there be a party?
We have to talk about that.
Offline. She definitely deserves to be celebrated.
We have a process in place.
Anybody else? Ready? Avino?
Yes.
Bahari?
Yes.
Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Goodrich?
Yes.
Lazoo? McGilchrist?
Yes.
Vallejo Justy?
Yes.
Had not, yes. Resolution carries. We will miss you, Miss Yvonne. Resolution 2504-10, closed session. Be it resolved that the TCCS board go into closed session on April 7, 2025 to discuss personnel matters. Moved by Gilchrist moves, second.
Carter.
Carter seconds. There will be no decisions when we come out of closed session.
Or no action taken.
No action taken.
You can make whatever decisions you want. Yeah.
Avino?
Yes.
Bahari?
Yes.
Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Goodrich?
Yes.
Lazoo?
Yes.
McGilchrist?
Yes.
Vallejo Justy?
Yes.
Had night, yes. Resolution carries. We'll be going into closed session at
8:19.
8:19 p.m.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. And thank you to the presenters. Okay.